Yo, what's good YouTube? It's Boardsy, and in this video we're going to be doing a comparison of the glorious Model D- and the G-Wolf Skoll Mini. I'm going to be saying like which I think is really the better like small lightweight ergo mouse. Personally, I think if you really want a small ergo mouse, the Skoll Mini is the better option, but it's not really a great value. And if you are looking for like the best performance mouse, I think a lot of people just prefer ambies, but if you're like fucking ergosexual or something, I think the Skoll Mini is a great option. It is so light, even with these grips on, which are great by the way. It's like 49 grams, and that's ridiculous. The Model D minus is 61 grams, which is it's not heavy, but it feels a bit bigger and like not clunkier. But I just feel like I can't control it as well. There's just not that much space because I do a sort of fingertip grip, and I don't know, it's just not very preferable compared to the Skoll Mini, which is a lot smaller. And something to note, because it comes with these grips, you can make it feel a bit bigger, especially if you put the grips on the switches or the clicks as well, mouse 1 and mouse 2. And if you like play claw, you can put a grip down here, and it's like really sticky. Very nice. The Model D minus does not come with grips, but I believe they have like BTL cutouts on Etalk Tech for it. Might check them out. I don't know. I also might RMA this mouse. Who knows? Probably can't because it's like my fault that it's broken. Whatever. The RGB, obviously, if you care about that, the one on the Skoll Mini, it's hard to spot. I mean, it's hard to miss, rather. You can see it right there. But if you want the glorious Epic Gamer RGB, that's only available on the Model D minus. And now something to talk about, like the quality control on the build quality on both of these mice. They can feel perfectly solid. My Model D minus doesn't have any rattle, and I've basically just been breaking this thing for fun. Like you've seen me crack it like an egg, and I mean that's not Glorious's fault. Like obviously it would be sick if that didn't happen, but that's never gonna happen in game. Nobody grips that hard. Like even like a gorilla, if it just had to grip that hard, I don't think it could do it, dude. So yeah, some people have like horrible flexing issues on their D minuses. Mine's like all right. It's nothing too bad. Nothing I'm worried about like actually affecting me. My DPI button came broken. That it's just a national tragedy. It just never is activated, and it came on like 800 DPI, and I wanted to change it to 1600, and I just couldn't, so I had to download the software. I mean, it's not too big of a deal, but it's like I wish I had a DPI button since it's there. My side buttons, I don't think this is how they're supposed to sound. I just find it very hard to believe that mouse 4 is supposed to sound like that. But obviously, since I have been cracking the shell so much, I don't really know. If the side buttons if they feel how they're supposed to feel, they feel great, though. Um, Assuming they're similar to the Model Ds. The main switches are Omron 20Ms, which honestly feel great. BT talked about these in his video, and he summed it up perfectly. They're like way better than the fucking old glorious clicks. Like in the old Model O, even the Model O minus, they feel nothing like these, and these are a lot snappier, a lot crispier. Not like the highest quality switch you're gonna feel, but pretty good for Omron 20Ms. And mine has very minimal pre or post travel. Wait, fuck, dude, that light is so bright. There's not really any room for there to be post travel, as you can see, and the pre travel is nothing too bad. Now moving on to the Skoll Mini. The pre-travel is a bit worse, as you can tell, and that's something I've noticed. Like, I don't know why they didn't just split the switch or like split it off, whatever the fuck that's called. I feel like that could have been more epic, but whatever. Like in terms of the quality over time, because it's the same thing that happened on my original Skoll. It doesn't feel mushy because I have the TTC pinks in there. But if I didn't have the TTC pinks and I had the Omron 20Ms, it would most likely feel like shit. And a lot of people have reported that their Skoll Mini switches have just started to feel like mushy and have a ton of pre and post travel over time. And yeah, that sucks. So I that's like something to beware of. But it is something that like comes over time with use. But it seems like to be a bit faster on mice like this. The side buttons on mine have held up great. I don't really use them that much, but they would be great for Fortnite if you need them. Note that this one is a little bit, the mouse 4 is a bit hard to hit if you do play fingertip grip. Also, my Skoll Mini had rattle when it came, and I noted that in my review. But now, ever since I got this zebra cable, I'm not lying, it just doesn't have the rattle anymore. So I guess it's not even a mouse problem. It's something with the way the cable connects. You can see I'm fucking shaking the cable, and there's no rattle. Like, I'm shaking a whole mouse around, and there's just no rattle. It's actually insane. The scroll wheel, I prefer the one on the Model D minus. Something about glorious scroll wheels. They kind of feel like Zowie ones, but they don't have the sound. And I mean, it's just nice. I don't know. Now moving on to the shape, arguably the most important shape and size and weight, like the most important parts. The Skoll Mini is definitely a small Ergo mouse, and without these grips, I don't really know who it's for. Maybe like super small hands, palm, or a claw if you decide to use the grips. But for fingertip, what I do, I like it for like a relaxed fingertip grip, not a sort of like aggressive fingertip that I do on the Hot ES. Oh, wait, let me just like show that. Like you can see, it's not the same grip on the Skoll Mini and the Hot ES. And that's fine. Obviously, I grip different mice in different ways, but I feel like for performance, the Hot ES is just a bit better. But again, if you are into Ergo mice, you're really used to it. The Skoll Mini is probably the best option. It is 49 grams, like I said, and it's just so easy to move around. It's truly something that's like crazy to feel, and it does have it's pretty wide and also not too long, and that's nice. I prefer that. Over like a mouse that's super narrow, like the Model O minus or the Viper Mini, and it's fun to play with. And once you get a paracord on it, the stock cable is fucking horrible. That needs to, like, you need to understand, you need a fucking paracord if you do decide to buy this mouse. And once it feels virtually wireless and you have some nice aftermarket feed on it, you're going to be set back $100, but you're also going to have a fucking great, nearly perfect mouse. At that point, the only thing that's really going to stop this from being a like 10 out of 10 is the build quality over time. And I don't know, Skoll Mini is a great mouse, but it is small. A small Ergo mouse. The Model D minus, I would not call this a small mouse. This is a medium-sized mouse. It feels a bit clunky in my hands. I don't have a ton of room. I feel like I don't really control it that well because it is just very thick. Like, that's something that has to be noted about this mouse. Let me try to show it. It is thick. It is not designed for fingertip grip, which is what I do. I wish it was just like a bit taller down here, but I understand that's not the point of a Ergo mouse. And there's just, the sides are so tall. It's, I don't know, it's an interesting mouse to hold. The side buttons are very easy to hit for most grips. Don't worry about that. But yeah, when I claw it, I just can't control it because I just can't grip the coating. I don't know, something about like whenever I try to put my palm on this mouse, it just gets so slippery and I just can't control it in game. Most likely just a me problem. The feet, they're good. You can attach the fucking extra feet that make it like Zowie style. This is kind of just like more of a gimmick than actual performance, but it glides around pretty well. The cable does not hold it back. It is a good stock cable. It is on the level of the XM1 cable. Like, look at that, dude. I mean, that's pretty impressive in my opinion. It's like not moving at all. While the cable on the Skoll Mini is shit. So the Model D minus is going to cost $50, but the quality control is more than questionable for the first batch. If you are going to get this, I would wait for the second batch. But again, I don't really know who this mouse is for. It could be for claw grip users, but then again, like I was saying, ergosexuals, maybe. This is going to be for you if you have medium-sized hands. If you want something that's a direct upgrade from the EC2, go for the Model D minus. Well, if you want something that's a bit smaller, or maybe you just want to try like a lightweight Ergo mouse, the Skoll Mini is a great option. But in order to like fully complete it, it is going to cost like $95. And compared to the $57 or so you're going to be paying for the Model D minus, it is an objectively worse value. So I don't know, if you want to fucking test out the super light Skoll Mini small Ergo, it's like one of a kind. So go for it. It's way better than the Death Adder V2 Mini for sure. As a 3389, while the Model D minus has a 3360, no actual difference. Also, the grips on the Skoll Mini make it feel a bit more like an ambi mouse. That's why I like it so much when I play fingertip, because it doesn't feel too different, but it is a bit wider than most mice that I actually like. Yeah, that's really going to be all for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and sub, and links in the description for both of them.